Surprisingly, may mga news ngayon na napapalitaan natin. I think na-post ko naman na ito before na tumataas na ang cases ng chronic kidney disease sa ating bansa. And it's always important for us to emphasize or ipukpok sa ating mga isipan na hindi naman dapat natin hinahangad na lahat ng Pilipino na may CKD ay mag-undergo ng hemodialysis. Kasi if you notice, may mga pinost sa recently sa ating news that we are showcasing the largest hemodialysis center in Southeast Asia. Well, it's a huge feat, kumbaga, or isang karangalan, or isang pagmamalaki, kumbaga, sa Southeast Asia. However, it also shouts the problem na dapat hindi naman natin ito magiging problema if we could have just controlled the cases of chronic kidney diseases in the country by means of avoiding them to go to stage 5, di ba? So ano ba ang nagiging rason bakit nagkakaroon tayo ng rapid progression from stage 1 to going to stage 5 or your end-stage renal disease? Isa dyan is uncontrolled diabetes. Another would be uncontrolled hypertension. Yung dalawang yan kasi na chronic diseases or lifestyle diseases, sila typically ang mga drivers ng chronic kidney disease. And ang correlation kasi niyan, pag napansin nyo, hypertension, ang factor kasi dyan is there is salt. No? The salt is usually filtered and processed sa kidneys natin. If let's say, for example, if you eat a large amount of salty foods, let's say processed food, mahilig ka sa hamburger, mahilig ka sa delata, mahilig ka sa mga preserved foods, na fast foods na nabibili on the go. Masyadong maalat yun, no? And then you eat it breakfast, lunch, dinner. So high salt intake, where salt goes, water follows. That's the main culprit. So pag magkakaroon ka ng high salt intake, magkikeep siya ng mas maraming tubig sa loob ng blood vessel, and eventually, kapag may mataas na salt, mas mataas ang tubig, and there would be more buildup of fluid within the blood vessel or the blood flow, it will cause increase in blood pressure. Kaya nagkakaroon tayo ng hypertension. So, kapag long-standing yan, isipin mo, ang kidneys, it is a tuft of small blood vessels that are used for filtering or pag-filter ng mga chemicals natin para iihi. May mga maliliit na ugat dyan. And kapag masyadong mataas ang presyon na pumapasok dun sa maliliit na ugat doon sa loob ng kidneys, pwedeng masira yon. Pwedeng magkaroon ng pagputok, pwedeng masira yung filtration process, and eventually, hindi tayo makapag-filter ng maayos ng toxic chemicals natin, leading to end-stage renal disease. So, yon yung correlation ng chronic kidney disease at saka hypertension. Sa diabetes naman, because of the high levels of sugar na kinakain natin and hindi nako-control, your kidneys are also in danger of being damaged because of the high glucose content. Kasi syempre, the environment of your kidneys, hindi naman dapat siya meant to be na may mataas na sugar levels. Pag napapansin mo na ang diabetes ay nagsispill over na siya ng asukal sa inyong ihi, ilalanggam na yung ihi nyo, may tendencies na pag nagpa-urinalysis ka, 3+ na siya, that is usually indication na masyadong mataas yung sugar levels mo or nagkakaroon ka ng hyperglycemia. And kung long-standing at hindi nakokontrol ang diabetes, pwedeng, kumbaga, na toxic na yung kidneys mo because of the high level of sugar. And eventually, it will also damage the structure at saka yung mga cells ng kidneys mo, destroying the filtration process, similar also to what hypertension is doing. So, yung dalawang yun, kung hindi yun na-address correctly, okay, your kidneys, one kidney has about 1 million nephrons. Okay? Pag sinabing nephrons, these are the filtration processes or units. Okay? Every time na tumatanda ka, nababawasan yung number of nephrons. Pero bumibilis ang pagbawas ng 1 million nephron per kidney kapag meron kang uncontrolled hypertension or uncontrolled diabetes or other causes of end-stage renal disease. So mas mainam na maging maingat tayo sa mga may karamdaman na ito kahit sa atin na wala tayong nararamdaman. Mas maganda pa rin na we practice a better lifestyle kasi kung gagalaw na tayo sa stage na-diagnose na tayo na stage 3, stage 4, stage 5, hindi na tayo, we don't expect na magkaroon tayo ng reversibility going to the normal, near normal na kidneys natin. So, eventually, ang habol na lang dun is damage control, kumbaga, di ba? Wherein, let's say for example, stage 1, stage 2, there's still a chance na ma-monitor natin yung function and at the same time, yung filtration process niya, control your hypertension and diabetes. And then, we can try to cause a reversal of those diseases to the point also with remission, di ba? It can help and it can provide you a near normal experience and can also lengthen your life. Okay? So, sabi nga sa isang balita din, I think na-mention na nila, there is an increase in the need for care for kidney patients. Isang nephrologist ang nagbanggit doon. And if tuloy-tuloy yung status natin for the need for nephrotic care or patients with end-stage renal disease, mabubutasan ang healthcare ng Philippines kasi masyadong mahal ang hemodialysis. Well, if you would notice, may tatlong options tayo dyan. Actually, yung dalawa doon is dialysis naman talaga. Hemodialysis, yung nakasaksak sa'yo. And then peritoneal dialysis is another form of dialysis. And then kidney transplant. Kidney transplant, Z-package, PhilHealth. You can avail that as long as you have a viable donor and yun nga, eligible. Medyo tedious ang process of entering the Z-package for kidney transplant at saka may mga selected lang na hospitals na nagpo-provide ng procedure nito. Okay? Naka-encounter na ako ng kidney transplant during my internship sa Quezon City. It was very long, ang tagal. Nandun ako sa side ng recipient. Kasi yung kaibigan ko, na co-intern ko, nandun siya sa donor. So, bale, mas matagal din yung hintayan namin. Baga, buong shift namin hihintayin yun. Nonetheless, it's a very tedious and very exhausting procedure. And then, mahal ang kidney transplant. Kasi 2 tao yung nakasalang sa surgery or operating table, the donor and the recipient. And the procedures will also include very expensive medications, immunomodulators, or para hindi masira yung donor kidney, magkaroon tayo ng allograft rejection or transplant rejection. Wag naman sana kasi syempre sayang din yung opportunity. Kaya mahalagang mag-screen ka ng donors kung viable sila or compatible sila sa isa't isa. So, yun yung mga dadaanan ng mga pasyente may end-stage renal disease na gustong magkaroon ng second breather, in life. Hindi lang stricken or restricted sa hemodialysis. So, it's very demanding, exhausting, no? Kaya ayaw natin na lahat na lang iisipin natin na yung mga stage 5 patients moving forward, dialysis na lang yung paraan or kidney transplant. If you are diagnosed with stage 1, stage 2, or stage 3, and you can still manage your comorbidities, your underlying conditions, hypertension man yan, diabetes, obesity, metabolic associated fatty liver disease, kung kaya mo silang i-correct na maigi, do so para hindi tayo umabot sa mga end-stage organ damage. Okay, like your kidney, your chronic kidney disease. Isa din sa mga end-stage renal or end-stage organ damage is yung heart failure. Okay, isa din yon, ibang usapan na naman yon. Medyo nakakalungkot din ang ending nun kung hindi yung magapan. Okay? I've seen patients na they are very frail, pagod, matamlay, even after dialysis. And kailangan lang nilang matapos yung araw para ma-filter out yung toxins. And it's very hard for them. Kapag ganun nakikita mo lahat ng mga pasyente, na makikita mo, nakaka-exhaust din or nakakapagod din sa doktor. Kasi you have to counsel them. You have to hear them out. Okay, not all doctors do that, but for me, I often provide them assistance ng being the person na nakikinig sa kanila. Kasi marami silang pinagdadaanan dyan. Mahirap ang sitwasyon ng mga ganyan na may chronic end-stage diseases. And it's usually in the palliative stage. Palliative meaning kailangan quality of life ang i-provide mo and continuous lang yung treatment and management. If in that situation, kasi kapag in abroad, no, yung mindset na ng healthcare outside like other countries, nare-refer na siya sa palliative medicine. So that would be more on quality of life for chronic diseases. Sa atin kasi parang limited pa lang siya. Konti pa lang ang palliative doctors sa ating country. If meron man, you could refer. If you are a doctor that is handling these types of patients, you can refer them to palliative doctors para lang din maibsan din yung mabigat na loob ng pakiramdam ng mga pasyenteng may chronic diseases like CKD. Okay? So I hope this short sharing of mine about CKD is fruitful. May natutunan kayo. And I like this type of reflection. Kasi reflection, trying to provide information that is straight from me, unfiltered, walang pang ibang edit-edit. Okay? Kasi ang hirap mag-edit. Parang ayoko na nga Ayoko nang i-edit, diretso ko nang i-upload. If you have questions about the video, feel free to drop a comment down below. If you want to suggest a topic tungkol sa health, okay, I will gladly make a video like this, similar din dito, para lang din pag-usapan natin. And if you are a fan or if you value healthcare, please do follow me. I will try to provide more meaningful content about health here on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, anywhere else. And again, this is Doc Chris, your online family doctor, making medicine easy for you to have a healthy life. Good afternoon.